MCU Pros and Cons, Phase 3 edition, the best phase of Marvel, without a doubt. Let's get straight into it, man. Simple. My positive about Captain America Civil War is obviously the movie is fucking amazing. But for me, this is the movie that I was like, yeah, maybe I should go back and rewatch all these Marvel movies. Maybe I should get catched up on all this lore. Only negative, though, is y'all niggas who pick Team Iron Man, y'all are wrong. This Team Cap all the way. I'm just saying. I'm gonna leave this here. Y'all do what y'all want with it. Simple. Back to the seriousness. Doctor Strange, I was expecting this movie to bore me out of my mind, but instead I was surprised by how great of an actor Benedict Cumberbatch was. This was the first project I've ever seen him in, and he absolutely killed it. Made Doctor Strange cool to me. If I were to give Doctor Strange a negative, it would have to be the villain. Like, I remember the villain fight scene. I remember it being big and epic, but like, I don't remember the name of the villain. I don't really remember what. I haven't seen the movie since it first came out, though. When I really think about it, to be fair, damn, what was the name of the villain? I'll wait for someone to comment it too. I'm not finna look it up either. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 returning with everything that they did right in the first movie with a little bit extra flair. We all know what the biggest positive of this movie is. It's Yondu's sacrifice at the end of the movie. That shit, it didn't make me cry. I'm not gonna lie to you. It didn't make me cry, but damn, bro, that was real emotional. The biggest negative is I just did not give a single flying fuck about the ego stuff. I just did not care. Maybe it's because I won't say my dad's absent from my life. I mean, I know that nigga. I talk to that nigga, but maybe it's because I don't have a close relationship with my dad. Not to bring it to that shit. This ain't supposed to be sad. It's not really sad. I'm gonna keep it a man. This way. It didn't hit whatsoever to me. I feel like when he died, I was just like, okay. Like, I just didn't care. Man, when this Spider-Man poster first dropped, I thought it was so damn cool. It's still pretty cool looking back on it. The biggest positive is we got Spider-Man in the MCU. I did not think I was gonna see that day happen. And when this movie came out, I was a kid in the candy store, bro. Ooh, we got Spider-Man in the MCU. He's interacting with MCU characters. The biggest negative is this is the movie where you could say they made him Iron Boy Jr. the most. Even though I feel like you could kind of explain it with how the story progressed, but there were some moments where it was like, Peter, come on, bro. You're being a little head ass. Like, there's just a couple of moments in the movie where I'm like, damn, this nigga Peter Parker's a dumbass. I shouldn't think that about Peter Parker, for the most part at least. Thor Ragnarok is a top 5 MCU movie. It revitalized Thor. It revitalized the Hulk for a movie, and then they ruined the Hulk. And then it revitalized Loki and made him so damn lovable. The only negative is, I guess after a while, like if you watch this movie enough, the comedy isn't gonna hit, because I mean, you can only hear the same joke so many times before it's going to be recycled and predictable and just kind of mid. But other than that, this movie is a masterpiece. People, man, my people. Wakanda forever, man. But not for in this movie that's full of positives. My favorite part of it has to be Killmonger's story, the way it was told, the point of views that they went with, him getting left by his uncle on Earth. That was so wild to me. So fucked up, bro. My biggest negative, and I am one of the culture, but y'all gonna be mad about this. I do think this movie is a little bit overhyped. It is a great movie, but it's not like a 10 out of 10 movie. We just gotta be honest. To me, Avengers Infinity War is a 10 out of 10 movie, and it's because of its biggest pro. The way that they were able to balance a cast of 60 ensemble, huge MCU characters and made everyone have a great role, everyone matter, everyone gets screen time, and everyone feel fulfilled. You feel what I'm saying? This movie is a feat, nonetheless. My biggest negative is that the movie ends. Like, I genuinely have no problems with Infinity War, one of my favorite movies ever, man. Such an experience. You should have gone for the head. I thought Ant-Man the Wasp was cool. It's just kind of forgettable, if I'm being honest. I think this is what the definition of a 6 to 7 out of 10 MCU movie. A decent time in the theater, but pretty forgettable overall. But it did have a heavy part to play in Infinity War and Endgame, so you feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying this movie is pointless. I'm not saying it's useless. I just think it's there. I think it's solid. I think Captain Marvel gets a tad bit more hate than it should. I didn't think the movie, it was as asinine as some people make it out to be. Maybe it shouldn't have made $1 billion. It probably shouldn't have, but I didn't think it was the worst thing ever. But granted, it is the most boring thing ever. I was genuinely just not like entertained thoroughly throughout the movie. Like, I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was entertaining, if that makes sense. I know Far From Home came before Endgame, but I gotta talk about Endgame last. Mysterio's holograms, his magic, even though it just turned out to, like I said, be a hologram and just be technology, I thought those sequences were so damn cool in the theaters. Now, granted, I did see it again at home on the TV, and I was like, damn, this didn't hit as hard as it did in the theater, but nonetheless, I'm gonna go off that first memory when I was like, holy shit. My negative is, I think this just doesn't have the heart and the soul that a Spider-Man movie usually has, and I do think that has to do with him not being in New York. I'm not saying he can't ever be outside of New York, but him being outside of New York for most of the movie was a little bit weird. We have to be real. Last but not least, man, Endgame. I had to talk about Endgame last because Endgame is so damn simple with positive and negatives. Positive, the portal scene, the best scene in the history of cinema, the most earned scene in the history of cinema. The negatives, well, the fact that the story is kind of a convoluted mess, but we don't care about that. I'm here for the portal scene and all the goodness and nostalgia bait that I earned over the last 12 years of movies. But those are my pros and cons for phase 3 of the MCU, man. I got way more pros than I do cons for this phase. This is peak Marvel. Go ahead and drop your thoughts, your opinions, your pros, your cons about phase 3 in the comments down below, because you know we got to talk about this phase, man. Simple.